So like the new Toy Story film came out like a week ago, and I'm unable to watch the film due to that movie not being in English where I stay. So I decided to watch all the four films leading up to it instead, and here's my video of me reviewing all of them. Toy Story is something I watched earlier when I was older or really young, because compared to some of the other animated films I have watched in my life, this is one that I don't really have too many fond memories of. So it does help me review them fairly. But for Pixar's first major animated film, I gotta say, this looks amazing, especially for its time, because compared to what parallels it's in style, like computer generated, this really eats. But I low-key also wanted to call it out for showing it its age, because it's great in my opinion, but boy, the human models are horrific to look at. They just look so uncanny. But they did improve on that in the films as they came by. And also, I feel like this film just at times is not as fluid. But it's 1995. Like I'm nitpicking here. I'll completely give it the pass, especially considering how much detail they put into stuff. Like we see Buzz progressively get dirty and worn out as the movie goes on. And paired with the animation, I think the voice actors in this also really help do a really good job to make the world of toys come alive. I'll talk about it in each film, but I also love how each film expands on the story of toys. Here we just see like the starter pack of how the world functions, and we see with someone like Buzz how a toy can be programmed to live in this reality of what they were made to mimic. And one of my favorite moments in this film is when Buzz has this existential crisis and doesn't even know what is real or not. And I also just love the care being put into this. Like each toy has their own personality akin to what kind of toy they are. Like Mr. Potato Head just being this old grumpy man at times, Bo Peep being this sweet whatever, Buzz this delusional soldier, and also like for example the Green Army guys, them being these coordinated soldiers, and so on. So many examples. Also just seeing the world of toy alive makes you think every time you go crazy for forgetting something and it just moving away, it's them trying to, I don't know, get your attention or something. And also canonically, we also see toys interact with humans verbally twice in this entire like franchise. Here when we see Woody threaten Sid, and also in the fourth film when Buzz tells Bonnie that she forgot her bag.
Your backpack's in the antique store. Let's go!
I like the fact that like they don't try to interact with humans, and how like the movie frames it that they just turn back to their inanimate state as soon as they know that a human is watching or something. And then for me, the next two are like the heavy hitters. Out of pure, this came out first, I used to be under the illusion that the second film was better than the third film, but coming back to them, Too Gently has to take its number 2 spot. And that's because on its own, it's still a great film. It expands on the world of the toys as we technically see they're at their home, a toy shop, and how these toys survive in the outside world as compared to before, it was just Woody and Buzz. Now we have the whole gang breaking out. And that was fun. Wish we had more stuff in the toy store. And I feel like this movie had a bunch of great ideas, and yes, its main focus, the whole Woody plot, I just feel was not as fun as everything else around it. In my opinion, that point in the story wasn't as good as the whole gang coming together in the airport, and I was just more interested with the other group. Could be my Buzz bias, but yeah. And something about this film that is that it starts with Buzz Lightyear lore, and I'm always annoyed that the first film wasn't more of that. And it was what it was, because I was really excited for that Lightyear film when it came out, when it was announced, just to disappoint me that it wasn't what it was. Well, it was what it was, but that is not to discredit it. The reveal of the bad guy was still pretty neat in this, and we had the introduction of Bullseye and Jessie, which I love because she was the eventual love interest for Buzz rather than Woody, and also the human guy that wanted to sell him, just seeing his life spiral. Then my favorite, the third film, and as I keep on saying, this expands on the world of toys, and now we happen to see the toys after like their owner grows up or something. We see them try to get Andy's attention to play with him, but yeah, he's too old for that, and they're at that stage where they will be donated, they will be given out. And I love the involvement of Bunny and the Sunnyside nursery, but why couldn't Andy's sister keep some of the toys? I just find that kind of dumb. Like, she didn't get any of Andy's toys. Like, all of Andy's toys were just given away. To see the dynamic of toys in the daycare and how there could be this natural order of things. The older toys would naturally understand how it is and be wanting to stay with the older kids and leave, on quote, the fresh meat or the fresh plastic in this case for the new toys like Andy's. But then you see them offer this position to Buzz to be part of them, and he still kind of gets it, but they like take away his personality. And you see like a toy like the phone whatever that has been there for time, but he still never got the opportunity. I mean, it's a kid's movie at the end of the day. I'm not really going to nitpick it for that, but I just found that a bit like, why are they saying, oh, you get your chance if Buzz just jumped into that, and that guy that has been there for years didn't. A bit more grown-up jokes here, but I think the attention to detail here was better than the second one in my opinion, and it felt a bit more earned. Like we see the poker game and them torture and brainwash Buzz. The breakout scene. This movie at its core is a prison break film, and I love it for that. And there are so many moments that I think for both kids and adults, I love that this film has, and it also has the heart to commit to those moments. And you see that more in the fourth film too, also paired with what I mentioned in the first film, that each toy has their own unique personality, and it's an allegory for what they would portray in the real world. Like Ken being this, guy that likes fashion and everything, and that's how Barbie tries to torture him. And also you have like Chucky the Clown, who was, he was also there for like 2 minutes, but I liked his little inclusion. And the best antagonist in the series in Lotso, who I loved the personality that he gave to him, this selfish, backstabbing, cunning, evil mastermind. And I think he was done really well. But at the same time too, I have to track back, where was Chucky after his reveal in the film? Because he's not in the next film, and wasn't he part of Bonnie's toys? We never see him again. It's a bit weird, but yeah. And speaking of Bonnie, the thing that makes me love this film as much is that form of the third film, that it's stabbing you with emotion, that emotional punch at the end. The film from the start reminds you of the life of Andy and all of that. Just makes you appreciate the film more. And all the films are really good with all really great conclusions, but this one just hits differently, hence why it is one of my favorites in the series. And then there's the infamous fourth film, which first off, I want to say that the animation here is simply gorgeous. You know that this is the Pixar era post The Good Dinosaur, so the animation fidelity is through the roof, and it shows here. The other thing I love about this film is the little attention to detail in the world, and how the film expands on the lore even more, that a toy can be anything, even trash. And I love the growth of Forky here. He goes from this dumb, trashy toy to knowing his value with what he has with Bonnie, both from this perspective of Woody that has had that toy in Andy, and also the bad guy Dolly, who in my opinion wasn't an amazing antagonist, but nobody can really reach the heights of Lotso. But I still think she was better than some of the other antagonists from the previous films. And that's not even saying that she was even a bad character. She just wanted to be loved, unlike Lotso, who was a really, really bad guy. We also see the reemergence of Bo Peep, who I love what they did with my girl, turning her from this good girl to the baddie on the streets. And I think that was really cool. But something I didn't fancy was how they made Buzz somewhat incompetent in the film. Because I feel like from the first film to the third one, they have maybe grown with Buzz and given him this sense of he can lead the group when Woody's not there. And I just found that they just regressed all that progression that they had. But they did fix it towards the end, but I was just annoyed at the start. I did like the ending of the movie, and I thought it was kind of sad and kind of moving. And I love how much the toys interacted with the real world. I think this was the most they have had to interact with the real world and distort the world. They do have moments in all these other films, but it's like thrown as a gag. This one was like, they were really affecting stuff happening in real life. And I like that, and I feel like this movie was pretty alright for me. I also thought it was a great point to finally end the franchise. Okay, although you could say that with the third one, I feel like the third was the best place to definitely end the story. But I do like the premise of the fifth movie, and I would watch it when I have the time, when it's available for me to even watch it. But I'm excited to see where they take the world of toys. Please tell me what's your favorite Toy Story film and your opinion on the Toy Story 5 film. I'll see you in my next video. Peace.